Hello there, I'm Mary Jo Land, a registered psychotherapist in Priceville, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the video series When We Are Very Young, created to assist parents and professionals who work with parents. Many of the videos pertain to parenting children who have joined families through adoption, foster care, or customary care. Some of the videos pertain to typically developing children, while others are more specific to children who have experienced loss, trauma, and neglect during their early development. Attachment, trauma, and parenting are the main themes in this series. Today's presentation is a continuation of the first episode. This is called Attachment and Society, Part 2. Last time we explored attachment, what it is, how it comes about, and some of the outcomes of secure attachment in children. Most importantly, secure attachment is the best predictor of lifelong health and well-being. Today we will explore adult outcomes of attachment security. We will also think of the outcomes at the individual level, and then I will present my thoughts on the possible outcomes at the societal and global levels. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Dan Siegel's audio series, The Neurobiology of We, I highly recommend doing so. It's only about 11 hours long, but it's worth every minute. The following section on adult outcomes of secure attachment comes from The Neurobiology of We by Dr. Dan Siegel. The link to that series is in the show notes. Check it out. In discussing adult outcome of secure attachment, Siegel points out that these outcomes are associated with the middle prefrontal cortex. This area of the brain is more robust in people who practice meditation intensively. The outcomes of secure attachment in adults are: number 1, the ability to self-regulate. That is, the ability to regulate one's thoughts, emotions, behavior, and body. Adults who are able to self-regulate are able to keep their cognitive functioning strong even when upset. The upset or stress is managed well so that it does not interfere with optimal functioning. Parents who are able to self-regulate are better able to remain kind, calm, and mindful even when their child is having a meltdown or a storm, is out of control, or is highly distressed. This is an important capacity because parents who are able to self-regulate would rarely get too angry or too frightened. These parents are better able to remain sensitive and responsive to their child during the hard times. Self-regulation is also important when interacting with other adults in the workplace or in public. When conflict arises, these adults are better able to use effectively strategies to manage the conflict rather than becoming emotionally and behaviorally reactive. The second outcome of secure attachment in adults is the ability to engage in attuned communication. This is the ability to communicate with others in a way that is wholly engaged, present, connected, and empathic. This is the heart-to-heart, mind-to-mind communication that is so essential in creating secure attachment in children. By experiencing an attuned adult, children eventually learn to communicate in a similar way. When communication is attuned, we feel heard, seen, and felt. We feel respected and we feel we matter. Attuned communication forms the basis of healthy relationships. The third outcome of secure attachment in adults is emotional balance, which allows us to regulate our emotions and stay steady even when things are difficult and stressful. The fourth outcome is response flexibility. Response flexibility is really the opposite of being reactive. Response flexibility means that we make a decision about the next move we take, rather than to react to the situation. Taking that moment to consider and assess means that we are more likely to respond in a way that will be more effective. The fifth outcome of secure attachment in adults is insight. Insight is the ability to look inwards. It is about our internal processes that use information effectively. It is me observing me, thinking about my processes, and then using that information to inform myself about what I need to do. The sixth outcome is empathy and theory of mind. Empathy and theory of mind are more or less the same as insight, only it is the thinking about, feeling about what another person is feeling and thinking. Empathy often informs compassionate actions. The seventh outcome of secure attachment in adults is fear modulation, which is the ability to control one's fear. The act of controlling fear means that the higher brain, the prefrontal cortex, is working hard to keep the lid on the midbrain. The next two functions of the medial prefrontal cortex are not associated with attachment style, but are associated with the same region of the brain. So perhaps growing that brain through secure attachment will enhance these next two functions. Intuition is the ability to attend to one's gut feelings. As we humans have come to have extraordinary and highly developed brains, sometimes we are less able to access and attend to things that we know or sense. Animals are better at this. Intuition helps us to recognize danger or threat, even when we can't say why we feel that danger. It's the hair standing up on the back of your neck, or that creepy feeling that you get. Coming to more effective use of intuition means listening to the wisdom of our bodies. And lastly, morality, simply put, is knowing right from wrong, not just the rules or laws. Again, I reference Dr. Dan Siegel's material for this. Several years ago, I had the opportunity and honor to work in Afghanistan, assisting in resolving trauma and building peace skills in the children returning to school. The intersection between attachment and peace capacity became clear then and is now made more explicit by Dr. Siegel's work. My theory goes like this. It is well known that the outcome of secure attachment is the capacity for self-regulation and empathy. We can now add attuned communication, emotional balance, response flexibility, insight, and fear modulation. These interpersonal characteristics enhance the capacity for compassion and tolerating distress. When humans are compassionate, they are less likely to feel defensive, protective, and closed towards other people. I think compassion allows us to say we, not us and them. This inclusiveness increases the human range of altruistic actions. Empathy, compassion, inclusion, and altruism are the basic components required for peaceful human relationships. In this way, I believe very deeply that secure attachment is vital to a peaceful future for our society and for the global community. In Attachment and Society Part 1, as we now know, secure attachment is the best predictor of lifelong health and well-being. In this episode, I have put it to you that secure attachment at the level of global population is a necessary precursor for peaceful human existence. So, what are we to do? I think very most importantly, we need to protect, value, and enhance the parent-child relationship. As a society, we must educate very young people in the field of interpersonal neurobiology and the crucial importance of parenting to create secure attachment. We must support the mother-child relationship during gestation and prevent prenatal trauma. We, as a society, need to support new parents with education and support programs and provide them with financial security as needed. Parents need to be able to competently parent their children, and they can only do that if they have the required tools and the ability to take a long parental leave. Although Justin Trudeau's 18-month parental leave plan provides help, I think it is still insufficient. Many people will simply not be able to afford to have such a low income for 18 months. Let's get to a fully paid 18-month parental leave. Let's get to good parent programs to support those parents at home. Let's get to really high quality, low ratio childcare where children have consistency in their daycare provider until school enrollment. After all, what happens if we don't do this? We will spend more in lifetime health care. We will have higher costs due to crime and violence. We will have more people living with mental health problems, and we will live with fear rather than live in peace. We've made many gains in the last couple of decades with much gratitude to Dr. Dan Offord and others. We still have a long way to go. Our children are our future, and they need us to parent them with love, sensitivity, and attunement. To me, this is the path to create peaceful, inclusive, and thriving societies. I thank you for joining me. It's not much of a tale, but I'm sort of attached to it. Until next time, I'm Mary Jo Land.